A few years ago, I had a lot of health issues. My hormones were out of balance. I was always catching colds. My blood sugar was out of control. I had no energy. I felt tired all the time. I had a lot of brain fog with regular headaches and trouble sleeping. I was miserable. I knew there had to be an answer to my problems, and after a few years of searching, I found it. Natural medicine turned me onto supplements and showed me the foods I should avoid for better health. But why did I need supplements to gain my health back? Don't we get enough nutrition from our food? I looked into this further and found out that our food supply has been compromised. The U.S. Department of Agriculture's nutritional data shows that our fruits and vegetables contain significantly less nutrition compared to 50 and 70 years ago. Without enough nutrients, our body becomes compromised. Our immune system weakens, our energy levels, hormones, every system in our body becomes jeopardized. With the increase in pesticides that leach minerals from our soils, GMO crops that have unknown side effects to our genetic makeup, and the fact that most of us are eating significantly more manufactured foods than our grandparents, which contain fewer micronutrients, we're not getting enough nutrition our body needs each day to repair and fight off disease. This is why, along with a healthy diet, taking supplements is so important to the integrity of our body. I found out that we need 90 essential nutrients every day, and we're not getting it from our food. 16 vitamins, 12 amino acids, 2 fatty acids, and 60 minerals to support the 37.2 trillion cells in our body. Now, most of us know we should take supplements, but which one should we take? What do we actually need? How many should we take each day? Which ones are the best quality for the best price? If you have supplement confusion, then I have your solution. Speak with a True Health coach today and they will help you, like they helped me, to order the right supplements for you, dosed by your body weight. I've been taking these supplements for 5 years now and I feel amazing. We're all on this health journey together. Come join me in feeling better. Visit takeyoursupplements.com and speak with your True Health coach today. They're fantastic and they're free to speak to. They will help you order the right supplements for you. That's takeyoursupplements.com. Takeyoursupplements.com. Welcome to the Learn True Health podcast. I'm your host, Ashley James. This is episode 121. Well, you know, it's warming up. Spring is in full bloom. I can't believe the last week. It's so beautiful here. The flowers are out and the trees are budding. And you know what's right around the corner is summertime. And with summertime comes heat. And with heat, you want to drink some smoothies. And so I'm so happy to have a past guest who I was just thrilled to have on my show the first time, Lenny Gale, who is the king of Vitamix. Welcome back.
Yeah, I love that. You get credit for that, Ashley. I don't think I have the cojones to call myself the king of Vitamix. I'm okay with Mr. Vitamix, but I'll take it. I appreciate it.
You've been Sir Vitamix.
Knighted?
Knighted the third. So just for listeners who didn't go back and hear our interview from a few months ago, I was doing some early Christmas shopping for myself one night. I was on my phone and I'm like, oh man, I just love a Vitamix because I've had this love-hate relationship with every blender my entire life. And I kind of feel like it's sacrilegious to call a Vitamix a blender because it's so much more than that.
It is. Yeah. It feels
And so when I was growing up in the 80s and in the 90s, we had the original Vitamix in our home, and it was stainless steel. It was like a real machine. It was amazing. And I was about 10 years old making piping hot soups just by adding ingredients into the Vitamix, and within 5 minutes it was a piping hot soup, which is so cool. And it's so cool for kids to have a Vitamix because when you get them touching their food and making it, it's easier to get them to eat nutritious, and that certainly helped me. And then throughout a move, I lost my Vitamix, unfortunately, and so I've been filling that void with these half attempts at a true blender, and so I was looking online and I came across Lenny's website, which is this wonderful shrine to the Vitamix, and it's lifeisnoyoke.com, and the links to everything that Lenny Gale does is going to be in the show notes of today's podcast. You can definitely check out his website. Highly recommend it. Now, you don't have to own a Vitamix yet to appreciate Lenny's website because he has wonderful recipes. Him and his wife life, really want to help change how we eat and get more nutrition and do it in less time. And so Lenny's definitely here to share more about that. But Lenny, since you were on the show last, you went to Hawaii. You had a adventure in Hawaii I can't wait to hear about, and you launched and wrote and launched a ebook. And so I definitely want to talk about that. Welcome back to the show. Tell us about your adventure in Hawaii.
Yeah, thank you. It's okay. So we are so lucky to really do what we love. We have our brand, Life is No Yoke. We have a website, and we are able to really do that anywhere. All we need is our Vitamix, some sort of kitchen, and our laptops. So we said, hey, it's just the two of us, our little dog right now, and why suffer through another Chicago winter? Let's find a place that's warm and wonderful. So we packed up and went to Hawaii. So we were on the island of Oahu. I know. It was so wonderful. We got an Airbnb up on top of a hill. It was a 30-minute, it was very secluded, and it was maybe a 30-minute walk to get even to a coffee shop. It was the Vitamix bloggers' paradise. It was wonderful.
Was it like an extended honeymoon for you and your wife?
It was actually. We had went on our official honeymoon just before that, so we traveled for a couple weeks, and then sort of regathered our stuff in Chicago, and then flew to Hawaii. So we were pretty much gone from home for 3 full months.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was awesome, and it was great. Like, I didn't wear socks for 2 months. Really sort of aligned our sleep with the sunrise and the sunset. Got up really early, and we worked our butts off. And I want to tell you, I have a whole list of all the things we made just in Q1, just while we were there. A few I want to highlight. But when we were done, we got up early, and around 2:00, 2:30, we go to the beach.
Nice.
And
Oh man, wouldn't it be so good to really hit it hard, wake up early, hit it hard, finish work early, and go to the beach every day?
felt so good. And that's what I was gonna say is, like, I'm here to talk about Vitamix and talk about how a daily blend can really just make your life so much easier and so much better. Knock out one of your 2 or 3 or 4 meals a day, save you money, all that. But I do want to say that being in paradise was wonderful, but especially having the ability to go to water, it was almost like a rebirth, like cleansing. I know for most people, you can't necessarily get to the ocean every day, but if you can get there once a year, it is it's remarkable what it can do for your mind, body, and soul. Just get to the ocean, go in where we came from, and I think that was really that was one of my favorite parts, getting in the water almost every day.
Oh, amazing. I bet. And the salt water is very cleansing as well.
Exactly. Yeah, and the hikes. I mean, just just profound beauty everywhere you look, all the time. It was great. And how can you not mention the produce? I mean, it was like the greenest kale you've ever seen. It was so wonderful.
Did you go to a lot of like farmers markets?
Yeah, we went to the farmers market all the time. What other highlights? I mean, we made a little video and put it on YouTube. You can watch that, look it up.
Cool, absolutely. I will definitely do that. I have a friend that lives on Kauai, and he says he never needs to go into a grocery store. He takes his little bike, and he just travels around the island and goes to all kinds of and he migrated into a plant-based diet down there. It's just his body sort of really just like you said, your algorithm reset, your sleep patterns reset to wake with the sun and fall asleep with the sun, which is how we're supposed to do it. And he did that, but with diet, his body slowly became more plant-based, and he'll just bike around the island for however long he wants, going to all the different farmers markets, and he says that in everyone's front yard they're growing something. This person's growing kale, that person's growing oranges, this person's growing mangoes. And if you make enough friends, you can just go around and just eat right from the earth.
Right.
And then what you need to supplement, you can go to farmers markets, and you really know you have a relationship with the person growing your food.
Yes, a relationship with the person and a relationship with where it came from. It really made me think, seeing our hosts, they had a little herb garden, neighbors had other things as well. Seeing where the food came from, when you normally don't, it really makes you think about the things that you're seeing in the grocery store. Where did this come from? How did it get here? And it really, like you said, just strengthens that relationship that you have with the things you eat and the things that you put in your shopping cart.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Hawaii, no, it was so great. It was so great. And we made so many good things. Can I tell you about a few of them?
Yes, I want you to.
Okay. I have a huge list, and I starred a few of them that I think are relevant to us right now, and just sort of the convenience and the sort of like, not life hacky, but just kind of like how it can instantly improve your kind of lifestyle. And that's kind of what we're all about. So first of all, we made a bunch of amazing things in by category. We made hot soups, we made dips, green juices, smoothies, a couple of sort of creative breakfasts. But I want to tell you about the ones that are great from a life hacking perspective. The ones where you can just throw things in, hit blend, and you got a meal. Okay, so hot soup. We made a fancy tomato soup, and we named it fancy just to get people more excited about it. But it's so easy. And you grow up having canned soup, or you have soup from a box from the grocery store. This was easier than going to get those things, and 1,000 times better. Tomatoes from the garden, if you can get them, some fresh herbs, maybe a little tomato paste. I mean, it really, it's the type of thing that can make a dinner phenomenal, and then can set you up for a meal or two later in the week. Fancy tomato soup, awesome. We figured out how to use squash in smoothies. So for people who are kind of averse to bananas, the squash kind of gets you that same creaminess as a banana does.
Yeah, and really, really good carbs. Like, that's really healthy carbs.
Yeah, exactly. And you really don't taste the squash. So we were excited about that. We like to get cute with the names. We call that the Sasquatch smoothie bowl. Yeah, thank you. Smoothie bowls. We made 1 million of them. And I'll tell you what, for the longest time, I thought smoothie bowls were silly, trendy, and just cute for the sake of being cute. But the act of holding a bowl and having it be full of nutritious green, or another, if it's not green, strawberry, or even like a chocolate peanut butter, and then topped with granola, maybe some raisins, maybe some nuts. So you get kind of the same effect as having cereal, but it's a ton more nutritious, but just as satisfying. So smoothie bowl is so great. I think we made like 10 of them while we were there. 10 different kinds. Love smoothie bowls. Green juice. So I'm going to ask you a question. Ashley, did you hear about this study about lower back pain recently?
No.
Oh, okay. So they kind of changed the guidance that there's like the Academy of, I'm totally botching this, but the Academy of Physicians, like they basically said they're no longer recommending that doctors prescribe opioids, painkillers for lower back pain, because for the most part, lower back pain, it goes away. It's not fun, and it can really be a bummer, but for the most part, you stretch a little bit, you kind of proceed with activity, assuming it's not upper back pain like a disc or something more significant that runs down your leg, just kind of a sore lower back, it kind of generally goes away.
Mm-hmm.
And so what they said in this study is that a placebo actually has more of an impact on your ability to sort of shake the lower back pain.
Mm-hmm.
And so we said, oh, that's hilarious. So we're gonna make a green smoothie called the lower back pain, or it's a juice, the lower back pain relief juice. In parentheses, a delicious placebo. It has ingredients that decrease in, that are supposed to be anti-inflammatory, la la la. But we're not doctors. We don't want to get ourselves into trouble making recommendations about your physical ailments. But so it's a placebo, and it's the most wonderful green juice, the lower back pain relief juice. Love it.
That sounds delicious, and I love that. Because it's so true. Because if you have lower back pain and maybe you have a back spasm, and really what you needed was some stretching and some rest, if you take pain medication, you don't feel the pain, and the pain was your guide for your body saying something's wrong. And so if you take medication, your body might become addicted to it. Your liver might become, taxed from doing it. But then you're not listening to the signals of your body, and you can injure yourself worse because now you just go back to work. Take your pain meds, go back to work, and then what your body really needed was rest and stretching. And so it just compounds and makes it worse and worse and worse every time the drugs wear off. Yeah. So that totally makes sense. That makes sense why the placebo works better, because we have a very strong mind-body connection. I learned that the fun way by doing natural birth, doing the birthing hypnosis. You can really decrease pain using your power of your mind. Not that back pain is in your mind, but that the mind can help make it not be as strong of a signal, right? Or just be able to make it more manageable. And then, of course, the added benefit of a placebo, then you start to believe that that's helping. Then coupled with the fact that it's delicious, so there's a distraction.
Precisely, yeah.
Maybe your placebo, your lower back pain smoothie should come with a stretch, or must ingest while reclined.
Exactly. Well, we have a little border graphic on our webpage that sort of looks like a prescription pad, and I said, to make the lower back pain relief juice once a day, and do this little 10-minute yoga video, little like basic stretching. And yeah, exactly as you say, you have to believe that the pain's going to go away. And once you do, a placebo will help, and bye-bye lower back pain after a few days.
I wonder how many of my listeners are going to go do that to their spouse. I'd love to hear. You should shoot me an email or join the Facebook group. Learn True Health on Facebook. Go join the group and come tell us after you gave this wonderful anti-inflammatory placebo drink to your spouse, and got them to do some stretching. How quickly did it help alleviate the lower back pain? Right. Complete placebo effect, of course.
Right. That's great. That's great. What else did we make? Lower back pain. This is a fun one. Hula bites, we called it. They're raw and all plant-based, sort of almost like bars, almost like round Lara bars, sort of. Little like sweet, so they have almonds and oats and dates, some coconut. Really delicious, kind of like just little. Like they're almost like the shape, or like the size of meatballs, but they're sort of sweet and really filling and great to take on the go. So you can pop one and immediately go from sluggish to energized. So those are fun.
I can see you putting acai berry, and I never know how to pronounce it. Acai berry, acai, because those are delicious.
Yeah, and then what are the other berries we have? The goji, right? Yeah, those would be good in it too. So many more things that we made. I could go on and on, but and we rebooted our queso. So our all plant-based cheese dip with a kick. So this is our famous queso. People email us all the time about it, how much they love it. I am not allowed to go to a friend's house to watch football without bringing a hot, fresh batch. So we rebooted the recipe, new photos, and all that. So that was fun. Um,
Cool.
yeah,
And so okay, so if our listeners, not if, when our listeners go to
yeah.
lifeisnoyoke.com, where should they go to find the awesome vegan cheesy thing?
Yeah, type in queso in the search bar, you'll find it.
How do you spell that?
Queso.
Okay, I'm glad you said that. I was like not in any way going to spell that correctly.
Yeah, yeah. And my the word the spell checkers don't recognize it generally either. They usually give me the red underline when I type queso, and I always double check with Google. They say it's right, so I'm like, okay, queso.
All right, so
You,
I
you,
see cashew queso, is that it?
yes, precisely.
So
Yeah,
if they don't remember how to spell queso, they can type in cashew and
yeah,
eventually find it. Oh man, your website's looking so good since I last had you on the show.
yeah.
I'm looking at the cashew queso.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome looking.
Yeah. You really want to get deep into the history of Life is No Yoke. There's a video of me from about 4 years ago. Uh, I look, I have a much tighter hairline, and or whatever the opposite of what my hairline is now. And I'm in my little studio apartment by myself. No one is behind the camera. It's just me, and I'm being a complete weirdo trying to figure out how to make this queso. Um, so that's some history, and then there's another video of making it. So that's like we like to kind of add to these recipes and kind of they're kind of living, breathing things, and um, you go through the process. This is what we do. We make recipes, we improve recipes, we get feedback from people. It's kind of we've really honed in on what we do best, and that's putting plants in our Vitamix and making really awesome things with it.
It just I wonder if my friend's listening. Well, she's gonna listen because I'm gonna tell her to. But I have this friend who's this amazing vegan. She's a naturopathic physician.
Yeah.
She's like super busy, and so she's like, I just eat the same things every day because she's so busy. And I can't wait to turn her on to this episode,
Yeah.
and she definitely needs these recipes. She's gonna freak out. I think she's gonna love this cashew queso. And you don't have to be vegan to love this, right?
I
Like
was
I
saying
really
that.
like your book, how it's about easing people into a more plant-based lifestyle, more plant-based diet, right? Because that Whole Foods plant-based diet,
Yeah.
just about, maybe have a 50% one, maybe have a 70% one. You don't have to be a vegan, but to experience the health benefits of a more plant-based diet, a more raw foods plant-based diet. And, all these I had this I was at a conference with a bunch of raw food sort of doctors or coaches, and a bunch of them agreed that they didn't have their patients go 100% raw vegan.
Mhm.
They said, they would take someone who's very like meat eater, very, very standard American meat eater,
Oh,
and they would slowly ease them into it to the point where then that person would kind of dial into like maybe a 70% raw vegan Whole Foods diet and 30% more, meat, meat
yeah.
food and cooked foods.
100%.
And
Yeah.
and so it doesn't have to be 100%, but you got to find what's that percentage where you're going to feel that health increase by easing into it. So I love that your book is about easing people into it, because then you might find that you want to be 90% or 100% or maybe only 50%, but at least it's more fruits and vegetables into your life, because then you're easing out the processed junk food by bringing in. And honestly, for me, once I started to eat fruit and more fruit and vegetables the way God intended us to, the more I didn't want junk food. It just the cravings went away because I was actually getting this rich, delicious foods that were, not altered in any way. So once our taste buds and our cravings kind of changed once we start using the Vitamix, and I love using the Vitamix because it's just such an easy guideline
Yeah.
to quickly getting good foods into me. But I love that you take it to this next level, because it's like I can eat a smoothie every day, but like, what if I want to use my Vitamix for another meal? It's like, okay, there's only so many smoothies I can eat, and I love that. It's like you could go through your website and you could make a breakfast, you could make a lunch, you could make a snack, and you could make a dinner, and you could make a dessert, and it's not all smoothies.
Right, and that's sort of, and we're kind of phasing or transitioning into talking about the book, but we really talk about a phased approach because, as you say, if you if a recipe for failure is cold turkey or is trying to make a drastic life change, go complete 180, and that's why we say try to blend one thing, throw some plants in your Vitamix, and blend something every day. And as you say, the things that used to make you feel good, that was those processed foods, the sugar, things that you're quite frankly probably addicted to, those things are going to start to actually make you feel not good. And it's not going to happen overnight, but you're gonna get you're gonna feel different immediately. Does that kind of make sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I noticed that once I started to introduce the whole foods, I had more energy. I was less hungry. My cravings started to go away. There was definitely a shift there. And now if I were to eat from the dollar menu at Wendy's, because there was like 7 years ago I'd eat at the dollar menu at Wendy's, and then I went through this whole shift in my life and
Yeah.
my health.
Yeah.
But if I went back now and did that, I would feel so sick, right? And whereas back then when I started, I felt being so sick was my norm.
Yeah.
And then when I started to eat healthy, it was like, whoa, my body woke up and I was just buzzing. And I love how if I make like a really super thick green smoothie for my husband and I, and it's like I tell him I feel like I'm drinking salad. Like I know that doesn't sound like appetizing at all, but my husband hates chewing vegetables because like you have to chew 50 million times, and so at least with drinking drinking your vegetables,
Yeah.
you get everything in. But I mean, I figured out how to make like my super green thing, like because I'll put beet in it and
Yeah.
kale and chia seeds,
Yeah.
and then I'm like, okay, now I got to really like kick it up, and so I've been experimenting with how I want to make it delicious but even more densely nutritious.
Yeah.
And I feel so good the rest of the day. Like I know when I've had a green smoothie because I have so much more energy and mental clarity all day long
Yeah. It's
just
really
by
true.
that one smoothie.
Yeah. And a couple things there. First of all, we have this awesome green juice. In addition to the lower back pain relief one, it's called I Am Spicy Hot. We learned it from another. I know it's such a silly name. We we learned it from another blender blogger, actually, the Blender Babe. She was in town and she came and we actually shot a video. It was really fun. But she taught us this spicy green juice, and what's really great about it is it's loaded with greens. It's dense, but it doesn't taste like salad. And so you mentioned drinking your salad. That sounds disgusting.
I'm still experimenting.
Yeah, ooh, there's kind of a hint of balsamic vinegar. No.
Mm. I
Uh,
add ginger to it. It's really cool. I mean,
yeah,
it tastes like I don't know. It tastes like a really yummy salad, but I mean, just drinking your salad does not sound appetizing. But every time I drink the smoothie I make, I'm like, I feel like I'm getting a 5 pound bag of greens into me in one glass.
ginger is the magic ingredient with green smoothies and green juices. It like totally takes away any taste of greens. And then to take it to the next level, we like to add a little bit of jalapeno. So I'm sure you can articulate on the health benefits of jalapeno, but it makes it taste delicious, and I think it was one of the presidential candidates a while back said that I yeah she said she eats a lot of spicy food on the road to stay healthy, and I think the whatever compounds or whatever, clearly not a doctor or a nutritionist, but keeps you healthy by sort of shocking your system. So the jalapeno in the green juice, an awesome addition with the ginger.
Yeah, that'd be interesting to look into. But I know like it's I think they have like jalapeno and habanero. I think they have a bit of an antiviral property to it, and cayenne. I think there's a bit of an antiviral property there, or antimicrobial property. It'd be interesting to look into it deeper.
Yeah, yeah, I think both of us probably should. Uh, yeah, so that one, the I am spicy hot, and then um, yeah. Oh, and I wanted to say, I wanted to let you talk about the Wendy's thing. High school, dollar menu Wendy's, that was my jam. Uh, Frosty, fries, junior bacon cheeseburger. I don't know how I stayed awake in calculus.
And for thinking back to college, I mean, whatever class it was at 3 p.m., because I mean,
Yeah,
my college went to like 5 or something, but I just remember 3 p.m., whatever class it was, my head was on the desk. Like, it was ridiculous. Like, I'm like, and I passed. I mean, I don't know how. I don't know how I passed, and I passed with flying colors. But I, on like looking back, can only remember everything I learned in the first half of the day, because after the crappy lunch I'd eat in college, it was just like I was gone for the rest of the day. I was either sleeping, about to fall asleep, or brain fog.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and then we
Yeah.
live off of our Starbucks and our energy drinks and everything to keep us awake, and it's just like self-medicating, where if we came back to the foods that nourish and feed our brain, we would be much better off, which is that what we're doing now. So it's just amazing the contrast that we've had in life. And
Right?
for those who haven't had the Vitamix experience, definitely worth doing. Check out Lenny Gale's website, Life Is No Yoke, and watch his videos. That's actually what sold me. As I was What I was searching for was more information about the best Vitamix, because I had Vitamix confusion. I was like, okay, back in the day there was one Vitamix or whatever, maybe there's two, but there was like one Vitamix and that was it. And now there's 500 different ones, and I didn't know which one was the best. And so I was looking for kind of this model versus that model of Vitamix. And I came across your website, and I think I spent like 3 hours on it. I spent more time on your website than choosing. Like, I spent more research on buying my Vitamix than I did on buying my last car. Like,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
it's a serious decision. I mean, this thing's feeding my family,
Yeah.
and I love your website. I love that you really just very it's so easy to your style of writing is so easy. I feel like it's a conversation we're having. It's easy to read. You bring in all the graphics and you bring videos in where you're comparing each one, and you're really helping us to make the best decision possible. And also, if there's any specials or deals, or how to get a Vitamix on a payment plan, which is what I did,
Yeah.
which was really awesome. I'm like paying something like $27 a month for my Vitamix through
Right. No.
PayPal. Yeah, it
Yeah.
was like so great, right? Because it was right before Christmas. I'm like, I'm gonna treat myself, and then there's like, you can get on payment plan. I'm like, why not? I mean, it's an
But, yeah.
interest-free PayPal payment plan. Why not? So you had all this information on your website, and I think by the end of the night, I had bought a Vitamix and contacted you and said, you have to be on my show because this is such a great website, and pretty much every health nut I know has a Vitamix, so,
Yeah.
or is about to buy one from you.
Yeah. Hopefully. We really this is what we do. We've tried a lot of different things, and like I said before, we've really narrowed in on our niche, and this is the way that we find that we can be the most helpful to people, make the biggest impact, the most quickly on people's lives. And we get these wonderful emails all the time, hundreds and hundreds of words, people pouring their stories out to us, and that's really what keeps us going. And I'm sure you can relate to that too, Ashley. It's like, work is work. You can do what you love, but there's always going to be a part of it that is challenging. And what really gets you out of bed every day is those success stories, those letters of adoration and appreciation and gratitude for you and for your work, and for your help and the impact that you've made on their lives.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's exactly why we're doing what we're doing. So, you had this amazing adventure in Hawaii. You and your wife figured out all these awesome new recipes, which is so cool because you're helping so many people. You wrote this book.
Yeah.
Give us some, peel back the pages and share a little bit of what we could learn from your book.
Yeah, well, I kind of alluded to it just in the past few minutes, But here's kind of what happened. We have a newsletter, and when people sign up for the newsletter, they get an email that says, "Hey, welcome to the list. We're so glad to have you. Let me ask you one question. I ask this to everyone. What are you working on? What are you struggling with? Just reply, and we'd love to hear." And we found that a majority of the people were saying something similar to this. I want to eat more vegetables. And so we said, okay, well, yeah, of course you want to eat more vegetables, or why? So there's a few reasons, and they kind of boil down to feeling addicted to sugar, and simple carbs, kind of struggling to get into a routine, having had tried to eat more vegetables, but sort of falling off the wagon, being told that more vegetables will help them reduce their reliance on prescription medication, kind of feeling like they've been doing the right things, but at the moment they feel stuck, and kind of maybe this is what they ought to be doing. People want to eat more vegetables, and being the Vitamix king, it feels so weird to say.
Sir Vitamix a lot.
Every time I come on the show, it's going to be a new name. What we've, in the last 4 or 5 years of doing this, what I've really found is that it's not your fault. Struggling to get the vegetables that you want, or to really eat the way that you want is not your fault. And how do we break down those barriers? How do we get through that? And that's kind of what we go through in this book. And I want to make it really clear that this book is not something that you have to invest 2 weeks into getting through. It was written for you to sit down and be done with it in under an hour. It's written in, it's really like, it's kind of like having a conversation with me. All the things I write, and this may be kind of loony, but it starts by writing. I write it all by hand. So that kind of slows things down and really is brain to paper, no extra unnecessary words. So it is, it's a great short read. It's published exclusively to Amazon Kindle. And what we've heard is that, it was really written for non-Vitamix owners. And those people who are curious about how Vitamix might be able to help them. So we're hearing good things from those people, but surprisingly, the people that already owned a Vitamix wanted to read it too. And what they're saying is that it really inspired and motivated them to kind of dust off their Vitamix, put it back on their counter, and use it every single day.
So in talking about your ebook, you're doing this promotion, like normally it's $2.99 on Amazon, but you're actually doing this 5-day promotion where you guys are making it free.
Yeah. This week through Friday, it's free. $0, 0 cents. We wanted to break down, remove any barriers to get as many people to read this wonderful short read ebook. So this week, super special. Go to Amazon.com, one click. It's free. The Perfect Mix. We're super excited. It's our official launch. We published it a little while ago, but this week only through Friday, $0 and 0 cents to get the Perfect Mix on your Kindle for free forever.
So the book is called The Perfect Mix, and in it, now is it by Lenny Gale or is it by Life Is No Yoke?
It's by Lenny Gale.
Okay, good. All right. Lenny Gale, author of The Perfect Mix. Get the book for free. go share it on Facebook. And it happens to me once in a while where a really cool book is for free, and all of a sudden everyone's spamming it all over Facebook to all the friends. We're all downloading it, and we're all thanking each other. Oh, thank you, you told me about that book. I've downloaded some really cool books when the authors do that kind of preliminary launch. So very cool that you are giving us the opportunity to have all this information for free. It's really awesome. So definitely this week we're all going to be downloading the book The Perfect Mix and giving it 5 stars because Lenny and his wife work so hard. And I'm really excited for everything you're doing, and I love watching you evolve. And I'd love for you to, like, you know how people have like a counter on their website, like how many visits? I'd love for you to like have how many people's lives have been changed kind of counter, like how many people are eating more plant-based because of our blog. That would be, I don't know, it would be kind of hard to measure, but it'd be cool because you guys have really helped thousands of people get wade through the confusion and get to the point where they can eat healthier. And the thing is, it's this perfect trifecta. It's healthier while saving money, while saving time. And that's every single listener that's ever contacted me with health problems says, like, essentially, I really want to eat healthier, but I have no time and I have no money and I don't know how. And so it's like you are looking to solve those problems. And so please, listeners, go check out The Perfect Mix. This week only is for free. And then get your friends, share it on Facebook. Let's help Lenny and support them because the more people that download it, the more people that give it 5 stars, that's actually going to help them and help this book become a bestseller on Amazon. And then we're just going to be spreading more information about how people can eat a whole foods life in a healthier way, which is also healthier for the planet because it turns people more into organic and getting away from chemicals and getting away from junk food, which has lots of packaging. And there's so many reasons why it's helpful for us and for the planet and for our future children. So I could go on and on. I'm a big fan of you guys, and I can't wait to see that your book is an Amazon bestseller.
Thank you. Yes, we are so excited.
I love it, and I really think that I can see people wanting, before they buy a Vitamix, wanting to read it. But I can see a lot of people who own a Vitamix and they're kind of feeling guilty because it's collecting dust. But they're like me, where whenever they put something in their Vitamix, it tastes like they're drinking a salad, and they could really use your help. And so I think sitting down with your book would take their Vitamix skills to the next level.
Yeah, and want to be really clear, it's not a recipe book. There are a few mentions of things like cashew queso, a soup, a green juice to try at first. But this is sort of something to really open your eyes to the struggles you've been having and why, and sort of a 3-step process for easing in to a plant-based sort of lifestyle that really sticks with the help of a Vitamix.
Awesome. And that is on your website under the ebook section. And also I'm going to have a link to your Amazon right from the show notes of today's podcast. So listeners can go check that out. It's $2.99. So it's completely affordable for everyone who's looking to increase their plant-based lifestyle. And I like how you say easing into it, because it's like, I think the first thing people think of is like, oh my God, don't take away my burger or whatever, right? And it's like, no, let's just ease into this slowly, have fun with it.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I cannot tell you how excited I am about the cashew cheesy thing, because I've felt very deprived being dairy free, but I need to be dairy free. My body does not like dairy, but I love dairy, so I'm really excited about that.
I will tell you very humbly, the cashew queso will change your life.
Awesome. Very cool.
Every time we go to the grocery store, it's the first thing we make.
Cool.
I mean, it's because we have celery and some carrots and fresh vegetables. A little preview from the book: we actually have a term called a veggie vehicle. It's like it's sort of like using veggies to get sauces and dips and spreads into your mouth. And cashew queso is the perfect example. So every time we go to the grocery store, we get a red pepper, some cashews, some almonds, and a little bit of seasoning. blend it up for 6 minutes, and you have piping hot, cheesy deliciousness with a kick.
That sounds awesome. And I don't know if I've told you this before, but one of my favorite vegetable vehicles is red cabbage. Cut it up to the size of like rice crackers.
Yeah.
And use red cabbage raw, just as to dip it in stuff. And oh my gosh, it's amazing! It's amazing what kind of things. I mean, you could do. Think about all the vegetables we could do. Zucchini. There's so many different kinds of vegetables we could turn into like a cracker.
Yeah. I was gonna say like a sandwich.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like red cabbage lasts forever.
Yes, I could attest to that because I bought one a long time ago and I just cooked it today and taste just as fine.
Yeah. That's great.
Cool. Do you ever put cabbage in smoothies?
No. We make a thing called detox salad, and that's a non-smoothie use for the Vitamix. So we'll take cabbage and sort of use the Vitamix to chop it essentially. So it's cabbage, cauliflower, carrots, maybe some kale, a little bit of nuts, and sort of an avocado dressing. So it's one of those really hearty, really filling salads.
It totally is. I did it, and I think there was I added broccoli. I don't know if you said broccoli, and I added cilantro.
Yeah.
And I totally made it, and it was very delicious, very hearty.
Yeah.
And I loved it. It's like, yeah, you could eat that for a few days and feel like you're at a detox spa.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's one of those where you have a bowl of it, and it's like, oh wow, I didn't even put a dent in it. This is lunch for the next week.
Yes, I think I had 3 or 4 meals out of that, and then I shared it with a friend, brought it over to her house because I was like, I made way too much.
It's kind of an sort of underrated thing about using a Vitamix for meal planning is making big salads like that, soups, stews, things that you can enjoy some of it immediately, but then sort of put away and bring to work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Which is, I mean, that's again part of the saving you money and saving you time aspect of this style of cooking.
Yeah. We use our Vitamix a lot and we love it. I would say we average. Oh yeah, that's another thing we started is we on our website, Life is No Yoke. We make Vitamix usage reports. And so it started out of sort of a curiosity of how much do we actually use this thing. And so we really, it's a log of every time we use our Vitamix machine over the course of a month and when we made it and what we made. So cool for us to see what we made, and then also obviously our readers it really helps put the value of the investment into perspective.
Uh-huh.
And also is sort of a fun way to sort of, what are we eating lately? It's a seasonal look at kind of what goes on in the Life is No Yoke household.
Right, because you mentioned squash, and that's definitely great for fall or winter, maybe even a little bit into spring. But now we're in spring coming into summer, and we're going to be wanting more cooling. Well, for the northern hemisphere, I know all of our Australian listeners are like, hey, it's getting colder here. But so for them, they can definitely incorporate the squash smoothies. But we're coming into a season in the north where it's going to be hot and we want to keep ourselves cool and hydrated. So smoothies is it, and smoothie bowls is definitely it, and maybe even some gazpachos or cold soups are great. So these salads are so cooling. So there's so many ways that we can use the Vitamix, save us time, save us money, get more nutrition, and also keep our body cool throughout the summer.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, so I'm going to keep my eye on your calendar and see how, we'll look at the temperatures in Chicago and it's like, okay, it's in the 90s and what's Lenny using his Vitamix for? Is a lot of sorbets, or how's he keeping cool with his Vitamix over the summer?
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, it's No, and it's especially nice too for people who are still on the fence and to kind of follow along and slowly just check in, and it's good. It's fun.
Yeah, and some of your I like that some of your recipes you say you don't have to have a Vitamix for this recipe. But I'm going to show
Yeah.
you how to use a Vitamix for this recipe, but you can just do this recipe anyway. You know, however, whatever you have, if you have a food processor or you just have a cutting board, but or a
Yeah.
blender, but you know, and then I like when you demonstrate, you know, the how efficient it would be with the Vitamix. So that's cool.
Thank you. Yeah, and that's one of the things I struggle with is it's the Vitamix is a huge investment, and it's for some people it's not a thing that they can do at the moment. And I just it's we're our goal is to help people really just eat more plants and just slowly ease into making better decisions. It's going to help them immediately. Um, it's going to help the planet in the long term, and to be so and to sort of exclude people that don't have a Vitamix if they have a different machine, if they have something that they got at a garage. We don't want to. Yeah, we want to be as inclusive as possible.
Mm-hmm.
We try and highlight things that you don't necessarily need a Vitamix for, because as they say, for most people, smoothies are the gateway into really needing to get a Vitamix, and so it happens two ways. You have a little Oster, a little $19 Oster, and you're like, well, what the heck? Why do I have to chew this? I kind of like the idea of it. Or because we don't have to tell people that smoothies are good for you, mostly, and people who want to sort of incorporate them into their diet and start living this lifestyle, they go and buy them, and it takes time to go to the store to purchase them. They're obviously expensive, and they're not necessarily that good for you. You
Oh my
can't.
gosh, it's so crazy. The smoothie places. Oh my gosh, I can't even. It's just filled with so much sugar, and they're not that healthy. And if you think about anytime you have to buy food at a restaurant, there's there no matter how healthy the restaurant is, and like we have organic restaurants here, and they're run by great people who have a big heart, but they have to make money, and so they're gonna look for, even if it's organic, they're gonna look for the cheapest ingredients possible. So maybe quality is compromised, right? And cheapest ingredients possible and then they're going to want to make it taste really good, so that doesn't necessarily, like putting a bunch of sugar in it and not really taking the time to make it taste good without the sugar. And then they're just going to hand you this thing that, is this water just tap water? Is it like spring water? Is it, like, where's this ice? Is this ice like tap water? Like, even just that, is it in a styrofoam cup? Like, what's the impact on the environment? So you're buying, and they're like $10. Like, if you want a smoothie that's like 40 ounces, or, some guys need like a 40-ounce smoothie.
Yeah.
And then what are they adding a protein source to it? Is it like some weird, heavily processed whey or soy based protein powder they put in it? I've gone to smoothie places and it's all syrups. There's not even like real food. It's just syrups. And I can't even believe they call that a smoothie. So no, a real smoothie is where you can, like, your 3-year-old could point to every ingredient and name it.
Yes, I like that. I like that. Yeah, yeah. You don't need a you don't need a PhD to understand what the ingredients are, what they mean.
Yeah, right. Because if you can't pronounce it, your body probably doesn't know how to process it. I love that. I love that saying.
I like that.
Yeah, yeah. So when I bought my Vitamix, it was a fairly new one, out of
Yeah,
all the lines out there. And then when I had you on the show last, you were saying like super secret,
yeah,
whispering into my ear that there's a new Vitamix coming, and
yeah,
you were so excited. And now it's finally here.
yeah.
So you were like one of the first to learn about it because you've got a direct connection with the company. You've become close with them, and because you're such a cheerleader for them. So there's got to be a more masculine way to say cheerleader. you're
Uh,
you're an advocate.
Oh, no, we're cheerleaders. We're good at it. We love
Okay.
it. Yeah,
Great. Well, like basically you're on a first name basis with all the cool people at Vitamix,
yeah.
and
Yep.
that's pretty awesome. So tell us about this new line of Vitamix. Like, what is it? what does it do? Does it like have Bluetooth speakers? Like what does it do that makes it so cool?
That's hilarious. Yeah, there is a Bluetooth.
How
Uh,
did I know?
really, I mean, there really is. I think it's at its infant sort of stages of functionality at this point. But okay, so here's what it is. It's called the Ascent, the Vitamix Ascent. It's a new, they're calling it platform. What is it? It's a Vitamix. It's not a whole lot different than what was in the past, what they're calling legacy machines, a C series or a G series. But there are a couple key sort of differences, new features and functionality with this platform, this sort of line of Vitamix, the Vitamix Ascent. Okay, so first of all, there's a new design. You can tell it almost looks futuristic. When I first saw it, I wasn't so sure, but I really like it now. There's, from a functionality standpoint, there are timers, so countdown timers, to sort of help get some visibility into what you're doing, and also programmable timers, so you can say, similar to how you would run a microwave, run on variable speed 8 for 45 seconds. What else on the Ascent? So it's the same full size power that you're familiar with Vitamix, and it comes with a 64-ounce container, similar to the past. What's really cool about it is that it's compatible with the soon to be released in the next couple days 20-ounce and 8-ounce containers. So this sort of meshes personal sort of blend and go capabilities with that full size, full power Vitamix that we've known, from the past. So I'm going to stop.
The 8-ounce and 20-ounce are like the to go containers. So you aren't having, I mean, not like it's very hard to clean the Vitamix because it has a self-cleaning function, which kind of sold my husband on it, to be honest. But basically it's just plug it into the machine, it blends it, and you just like run out the door with your smoothie in your hand.
Yeah, exactly. So you place either the 20-ounce or the 8-ounce container, and I have to say that the 8-ounce container is the cutest thing you've ever seen. It's like, it almost looks like like a bubble, like a little baby bubble, and it sits right on top of the full size Vitamix. And what's really cool is that, so the Ascent series has what they're calling Smart Detect technology. So the machine can identify what type of container is placed on it. So it knows that it needs to adjust the pre-programmed settings and the output based, if there is a smaller container being used. So that's kind of neat. It kind of knows what's on it, and it makes adjustments on the fly.
That makes so much sense. And that's really cool. So when would you want to use the 8-ounce versus the 20-ounce, or is it just basically small appetite versus big appetite?
Thank you. That's a great question. So, a couple of our biggest sort of gripes, from our readers and from people that have bought through us, and even in our own house, is that it was really tough to make tiny batches. So things like salad dressing, you had to make a giant batch of salad dressing. And when you're just making dinner and you want to throw together sort of a vinaigrette and emulsify the oils and the vinegar, you have a minimum batch size that's larger than you probably want to be dealing with for tonight's dinner. So that's one application that'd be really useful, to have a little baby 8-ounce container, perfect for tonight's salad dressing. Another example, we have, I think it's a Asian salad that my wife Shava likes to make. It's got crushed peanuts on it. So today she has to put peanuts in a bag and smash them. And what she really wants to do is just pop it in the Vitamix for 2 seconds and get the same thing. Now, with the 8-ounce add-on, you're able to do that super easy.
Could it grind coffee?
Yes. Yes.
I guessed it.
Yeah. That's another yeah. So we have, you kind of said this. We have a really good relationship with the people at Vitamix. Um, it's a unique relationship because we're not employees. We're contractors. So every time they tell us that a new product is being released, they send us a new non-disclosure to sign. But yeah, we we were invited to go visit them this past fall, and one of the things we got to do is play around with the new Ascent and the new add-ons, so the 8 and the 20-ounce container. And we have a YouTube video that I actually just finished editing this afternoon. We're going to publish it in a day or two, and it sort of highlights 3 really cool applications for this little baby 8-ounce container. So we made baby food. That's sort of an obvious one. It was peas and almond milk. We made a smoothie bowl, which I talked about earlier, a little smoothie bowl with avocado and spinach and frozen grapes and a little bit of seeds. With the smoothie bowl, is really cool. You blend it, put the top on, and just throw it in your bag. So you have your smoothie bowl for sort of a late morning snack. And then what was the third thing we made? Oh, we made a spice grind.
Oh, yeah, there's an application.
Super cool. So it was cinnamon, something peppercorn, Chinese 5-spice. There were 5 wonderful fresh things. And I mean, if you've ever, fancy restaurants, their recipes are a secret. But one of the things that makes fancy restaurants so good is everything is fresh.
Mm-hmm.
And fresh spices and fresh herbs is one of them.
Mm-hmm.
And so, to have the ability to make a fresh spice grind, and put it, if you do meat, to use that with sort of marinating meat, to add it to sort of a frozen dessert, to kind of give it a little kick, maybe in like a ramen, sort of a faux type of thing. Just with that specific spice grind, so many different applications, and it just really ups your culinary game immensely.
I bet.
Yeah. So those are the 3 sort of applications for the little 8-ounce container. So we're excited about that. I mean, that's one of the big things that people are concerned about. They're not sure which machine they should get. Now it's a no-brainer. You get the Ascent. And if you want to make little tiny batches, you get the 8-ounce add-on. Or if you really like making blend and go smoothies, you get the 20-ounce add-on as well.
And then I was being serious. Can you really grind your own coffee with a Vitamix?
Yeah.
Like, can you do it with any Vitamix, or do you need the 8-ounce attachment?
Yeah. So I've been getting into coffee lately, and what I've learned is that freshly ground coffee makes a huge difference on the taste, sort of the complexity of the coffee you're making. Apparently, ground coffee sort of loses its flavor after like a half hour. So if you can, get whole beans and grind them at home. Not everyone has the space or has the budget for a fancy coffee grinder, a specialty grinder. So using a Vitamix to get freshly ground coffee is fabulous. To answer your question, yes, you can use really any container to grind coffee, but as I was saying, you kind of want to only grind the amount of coffee that you need for that moment. And having a smaller container, like a 20-ounce or an 8-ounce, is probably a better fit for people who don't drink 8 cups of coffee a day.
Yeah. Oh, that's so cool. Awesome. So, you must have one by now, then.
We don't. Okay, so I'm not episode airing, but we don't yet. We've seen it. We've played with it at Vitamix headquarters in their kitchen with their chef. We have video from the from that day. Like I said, we're posting it to YouTube shortly, but we don't have one yet. We're super excited. Sort of related to that, and this sort of wraps up the conversation about the Ascent series. And this is sort of for people like you. Excuse me, this is for people who have a legacy machine. So a C series and a G series. Um, the question is, should I upgrade? Should I get an Ascent?
Mm-hmm.
And I would say it depends. Here's why. Vitamix just released a personal cup adapter for what they're calling legacy machines. So C series, G series, a 5200 Pro 750. So what you have. So what does that mean? Personal cup adapter. That's a 20-ounce container that you can use on your full-size machine.
Oh, so I don't have to get the Ascent. I can just buy the container for my Vitamix. That's so great.
Yeah, it is. It is really, really great because, like I said, the far and away the most common feedback that people have is that they want to make really small batches. So this personal cup adapter, it is now available. We have one sitting on our kitchen counter. It is super cool. It solves a big problem, and it's it's a really easy thing to get if you already have and love your machine.
Awesome. And so for my friends who are my listeners who have never owned a Vitamix, or maybe they owned one but they don't have it anymore, and
Yeah.
they're looking to get into one, then they would want to check out the Ascent for all of its features. So what like the Bluetooth, does it really have an app that goes with it?
So yes. There's a scale. It's called the Perfect Blend. It's sort of a app and scale sort of solution. So basically, you get a scale that's precise down to the tenth of a gram, or maybe a hundredth of a gram, and the app has all of Vitamix's the company's recipes. So everything that's ever been published in their books. So something like 500 recipes are built into this app, and so the Bluetooth, I think, I think, hang on. The Bluetooth, in theory, can talk to the app, but right now, I think it's just that there's still like a sort of a gap between those two systems, but the functionality is it's there for something. Does
Got
that make
it.
sense?
So the hardware is there and the software is going to catch up.
Exactly. So then what they've told me is that the Ascent is something that they're really going to build off on. They're going to run with the Ascent for a long time. This is not something that they're going to phase out for something newer. This is something that they are going to sort of augment and make better. And they've sort of put their money where their mouth is. All the Ascent machines come with a 10-year warranty.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's cool. And it's so after year 7, if you bought a legacy, for example, if you bought a legacy machine, those machines come with a 7-year full warranty. With the Ascents, you get another 3 years, so 10 years. So you're going to buy this thing and have it for a very long time, worry-free.
That's really cool.
Yeah. So they're they're committed to the Ascent. So for someone who's new to Vitamix, who doesn't have one, who's thinking about it, I definitely say look at the Ascents. They're great. They have sort of 4 different models at different levels depending on what kind of features you want, and it's really easy to pick which one is right for you. Do you want touchscreen? Yes or no? Do you want the pre-programmed settings? Yes or no? Answer those 2 questions. You got the machine for you. Pick your color, and they all come with a 10-year warranty. Like I said, the Smart Detect technology that's ready for a 20-ounce or 8-ounce add-on. I'm guessing down the road they'll come up with a super package where you can get the accessories and the full-size machine all in one. Right now, there's amazing deals going on all the Ascents. Um, we have information about all the models on our website, lifeisnoyoke.com. We would love, love, love to help you answer any questions you have. We have a sort of we call it a starter kit. It's a thank you gift for buying through us. It's a shopping list. It's an ebook. It's a what else? A $20 coupon to our Life is No Yoke University, which is a online class to get started with your Vitamix. It makes the class like $10, and priority lifetime support from us. So when people purchase through us, we really feel like a long-term friendship is made.
Yeah, and they get free shipping. I know.
Oh,
That kind of sold me.
That's how you get free shipping.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then when I ended up calling them to like, so I did all the ordering online. I used your code, and then I ended up calling them because I was thinking, because I was watching all your videos and you had this whole thing, this breakdown on like what size container do you want, because it comes with a 28 ounce, no, 32, came with a 32, and you were saying, you might want to get the 64, right? There was this whole video about the different size containers. And so I called up the customer service to talk about my package that was coming and to also discuss containers. And they knew you, I mentioned you, and they knew who the customer service agent, who has been with the company like since I think she must be like born there or something, because she had been there for so many years. Wonderful woman. And it's cool when you like call a company and the person is a fan of the product that they sell. And she was like, well, when I make this, I use this size. And when I make that, because I was talking about, well, do I want the 64? And I'm so happy I got the 64 ounce. It's like the only one I use. Because whenever I make something, I make it for the whole family. And then I also have I think I got a smaller one and a bigger one, and I use them both at different times, but the big one for my family works. But I can see how a single person would want the smaller container. And we had a great conversation, the customer service agent, and she knew who you were. And sure enough, I got free shipping, and I got I got some, I don't know if it was because I used your promotional code, but I ended up getting like a really big, thick cookbook. And then I bought, I think it was like $5 or something, but I bought the cheesecloth thing to make nut milk. Turns out I don't even need to use it, because I don't mind a tiny, 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 minuscule amount of pulp in I don't even notice, like if I drink. So it's a nut milk bag, right? So I throw a bunch of cashews in water and blend it, and all of a sudden I got this most delicious, like I cannot believe how delicious cashew milk, right? And then the first few times I was making these nut milks, I would put it through the nut bag, and by the end I'd look at it and be like, there really wasn't that much fiber, and it's probably good for you. And so I just started making the nut milks without the bag, and sure enough, almonds is the one that has the most amount of pulp, but even then I don't notice it.
Yeah.
So I just blend it longer.
Yes, and the we haven't made a lot of cashew milk. I know it's fabulous, but the almond milk we've made recently, if you've never made it, the homemade version, it's like you've never seen something so creamy and white. You wouldn't expect the sort of the richness and the color to come from almonds, these brown nuts and water.
Yeah, well, I soaked my almonds, so I'm like totally into soaking things lately and washing out the phytic acid, like the phytates, and it was funny soaking almonds for a few days. They expand obviously, and then all the skin's washed away, and they became these beautiful little, like almost like white pearls. It's just, they're really cool looking when you soak them, and then you wash away all the non-nutrients, right? And then that's actually the stuff that will actually not allow your body to absorb minerals, which is the phytic acid. And also, like if you're soaking grains or lentils and beans, what you're washing away when you soak them is you're washing away the sugars that cause us to have gas. And
Huh.
so some people might have gas from nuts as well, and that's they need to wash the stuff away. So soaking it for a day or two and rinsing it off. And I had to learn patience because I want it now. But when I soak foods, and also that begins to ferment. So if you are gonna, in a good way, for it can do like lacto fermentation where it actually begins to be cultured, and then if you use it in raw cooking, or raw food preparation, then you're actually maintaining the healthy probiotics that was from soaking it for a few days, like a very light probiotic. So there's all those goodies that go into that. But basically, I was soaking my nuts, and every time I say that, I feel weird. But I was soaking my nuts, and then
Yep.
I threw it in the Vitamix, and I'd play around with much how many nuts per water and ratio, and I would make this super thick milk. Like was it was like I actually used it as instead of creamer. I mean, I
Yeah.
don't use creamer, but I would use it as a fresh cream substitute in coffee, and it was amazing. And play around with that, and then I'd like take a can of coke, like thick coconut, and put that in, and then
Yeah.
put some nuts in and make a thick creamer. And for a while, that's what we were using in coffee. So yeah, so much fun. And then I wanted to make a lighter one. Like my husband wanted more like a cereal based milk, like a 1% or a 2% kind of version of a cashew milk or almond milk, where I throw both of them in and play with it.
Ooh, yeah.
And oh yeah, I mean it's so much fun. And it's
Yeah.
so simple. Like that's what I love about the Vitamix is like, and I am saved so much money because I could not believe how much when you look the cost of nut milk or these creams, like putting cream in your coffee versus throwing in some nuts in water and blending it. It was actually there's definitely a cost savings there, and you know where it's coming from. It's not like processed, because I look at the back of a soy milk or rice milk or almond milk, cashew milk, you name it, if you're dairy free and you're looking in the grocery store. And there's like five ingredients, and you're like, there should only be two. It should be water and nuts. Why is there a bunch of other stuff? Because there has to be preservatives. Maybe they made this 2 years ago. It's
Yeah.
just sitting on the shelf. And that's why when I was first amazed when I made nut milks with the Vitamix, is the taste was amazing. It
Yeah.
actually has this wonderful flavor that I've been drinking these cow dairy milks my whole life,
Yeah.
and it's like a whole different experience when you make it fresh.
100%. Yes. 100%. And yeah. Once you have fresh, homemade, genuine nut milks, the stuff you buy in the grocery store in a carton, it doesn't taste what you thought it did. It tastes um some sort of process.
Right,
it,
right.
yeah. No, it's strange. It's strange. Um, but yes, to your point, the nut milks as creamers is like a total game changer for coffee drinking. So good.
And rich. It really it accentuates the flavor. It's very rich.
Yeah.
So if you like that almond flavor, you can do with almonds. Cashews are more neutral, but they have their own flavor. Macadamia nuts. Did you experiment in Hawaii with macadamia nuts?
Yeah, we did. What do you make with macadamia nuts? Oh, that's the hula bites. Yeah. That was
Oh, delicious.
what's delicious. Yeah. So good. Our host gave us macadamia nuts as a welcome gift, and that they ended up as a part of the hula bites.
And did you give your host hula bites?
I did. Yeah, I did. It was really fun. It was a duplex style, and we lived above them, and you see them. They're out. It's Hawaii, so you're outside a lot, and they had a dog, and it was almost like living on a commune. So we saw them, and every time we'd make something, we'd bring it down and say, hey, let me know what you think.
Oh, that's awesome. They must have loved that.
They did. It was great. It was really sweet.
So when are you going back to Hawaii?
If are you asking me or asking my wife?
Why is she going back there without you?
The other way around. So no, I would love to go back. I loved it there. It was like it is a different planet, but just it was like being reborn. It was so good there. She likes to adventure and check out restaurants and do new things. I'm the kind of guy where it's like, well, if I feel like I found the best, it's kind of like
Yes.
going out to eat. It's like I'll order the same thing on the menu every single time if I'm convinced that it's the best thing there. Why would I get anything else?
Yes.
Yeah, risk disappointment. And so if you ask me, I would go back. I would stay at the exact same place.
Yep.
It's the exact same thing. I would write another book. It was the greatest thing ever.
That's awesome. I totally know it. You know, my mom, we had found like the perfect beach in Mexico, and we spent years hunting other places to find the perfect beach, only to come back to the same spot. So I know that. So you know what? Your wife's going to come around. She's going to want to venture everywhere. And then one day you'll convince her that you did have the best, and then you'll end up there again. That's so cool. Well, thank you so much for sharing all this awesome information. You're welcome back anytime. I want to hear updates. I love the adventure that you guys are on. And I have to say that what really helped me decide which model to buy for the Vitamix was your videos kind of breaking down each feature, and you're not pushing people to buy the most expensive. It's really, you're helping people make a decision by compare and contrast. And I love that you even have a, you know, hey, do you want to pay for presets, or you do want like sort of the more manual approach? It's kind of like driving a manual, like a stick shift versus an automatic car. And I love that you really break it down, and nowhere in your blog you're like, you have to get this. You're like, okay, well, you know, there's times when this is best. This is the best option, and maybe it's best option if you need XYZ. And so you really, in a non-pressure way, break everything down. And I just love your guide. So if anyone's interested in getting a Vitamix, or if you have a Vitamix but you're checking out the Ascent, definitely Lenny Gale's website, which is Life is No Yoke, and you should go back and listen to our first interview so you'll know what Life is No Yoke means and why Lenny is the Sir Vitamix-a-lot king, and and all the wonderful things that you can check out on lifeisnoyoke.com. Please get your wife on the show next time. I want her to come and share more of your recipes, because I know she's the recipe queen, and so I'd love to have her on the show.
She is, and it's funny because she's much better at conversing and speaking off the cuff than I am. So I will definitely make sure she joins me next time I'm on the show.
Cool.
And thank you so much. It's just such a blast. It's so easy and so nice and so natural having conversations with you, Ashley.
Well, you know, it's because I'm totally passionate about it, and because I'm really excited for my listeners. I hope that they're inspired to go check out your website, because I love that you and your wife's main mission isn't to sell Vitamix. Your main mission is to help people eat a healthier, more plant-based diet, and if they're inspired to, they can go all the way to the vegan spectrum. But anywhere along the spectrum, as long as they're eating more of a healthy, plant-based, whole food lifestyle, and then, you know, that's the gateway to owning a really great machine that can help you, like a Vitamix. And if they do, then they get a lot of perks by buying one with your referral code. And that's what keeps the lights on. That's what keeps you guys inventing new great recipes that inspire all of us to eat healthier. And I just love that. So I love your mission. I'm such a fan of you guys and what you're up to. So thank you so much.
I could not have said it better myself, Ashley. Thank you so, so much.
Enjoy what you heard today on your episode of the Learn True Health podcast. Did something move you, inspire you? Did you get great information that's going to change your life? Awesome. That's exactly what I'm here to do, is to help you gain your health back. Please turn around and share this. If this is something that's helped you in any way, share this with those you love. Love the Learn True Health podcast and want to support us? Awesome. You can go to takeyoursupplements.com and you can support us that way. You'll get access to amazing supplements that are just really great quality for a great price. And there'll be someone on the other end of the line to help you pick out your supplements that are right for you. That's takeyoursupplements.com, or join our membership, learntruehealth.com/join. That's another great way to support our podcast, support our movement, and you'll be supporting yourself. Gain more information, wonderful videos, wonderful trainings, and you'll also be able to share those with those you love as well. So go to learntruehealth.com/join. Want something fun for free? Go to learntruehealth.com, and right there on the front page, you'll see where you can get our free cookbook. I spent a lot of time making it, and it was so much fun. It's really delicious, healthy recipes. And you can also get our 7-day doctor course. Right there, it's 7 days of naturopathic videos sent right to your inbox, and you can learn from top naturopaths on how to gain health naturally. So that's takeyoursupplements.com for wonderful supplements. learntruehealth.com/join to join our awesome membership, which is only open for a limited time. You can get our free healthy cookbook, and you can also get for free 7 days of wonderful naturopathic videos sent to you. Just go to learntruehealth.com and you'll see it right there on the front page. Thank you so much for being a listener, and thank you for sharing and helping others. Let's spread this information and turn this ripple into a tidal wave.